Good afternoon to all of you from Philadelphia. We are here at noon on the East Coast, and I suspect in different time zones from your perspective. I know that we have several folks who have joined us from India, so it's about midnight for some, if not most of them. Again, thank you for joining us. We would like to begin by just outlining a few housekeeping items. You all, of course, responded very clearly to muting yourself. This is to avoid any kind of noise that typically occurs in this channel, so thank you for that indulgence on your part. You are also invited at any time to ask questions. We ask that you state your questions in the chat box, and Joe, a colleague of ours here at CXU, will be reviewing those and filtering some of them to me, so that when we get to the end of our formal presentation, we will certainly respond to any questions that you might have an interest to receive an answer. Pardon me, we seem to have a minor glitch here. Joe, did you see that message that just popped up?
Yes, I did.
Okay, does that, I thought we had cleared that limitation.
We still have them more than that, though.
Okay, excellent. Well, maybe that was just a message that we can ignore. All right, well, as I said, we will get started. So let me begin by welcoming all of you again to this open house, the first of what we hope will be a series. Our objective in this open house is to introduce you to CXU University and our offerings at this organization. Let me then get right into it and begin with articulating for you why we think CX University is an option that you should consider. We are, of course, as many of you already know, in the business of delivering training and education in the customer experience space. The program that we have developed, as you have noticed in the logo that we've included from CCXP, our programs have been certified by CXPA and its sister entity called CCXP for certification purposes. We got approved last year, and we're one of only 2 in the United States, but one of 4 globally that have received that stamp of approval. So let me get into why we think that CXU is an option for you to consider. The most important, among the many important options that we'd like you to consider, is the fact that we're committed to innovation, and I mean that quite seriously. I could spend quite a bit of time sharing with you the kind of innovative initiatives that we've undertaken, but let me just say to you that this is a public statement I am making on behalf of my team at CXU, that we are committed to innovation, and I will share more of that with you as I share with you the development map that we have on our radar screen. So it'll give you then a flavor of the kind of commitment that we're making to constantly examining the space we're in, so that we can always be at the leading edge, so to speak. To the best of our knowledge, we are the only organization in the world that's delivering CX training and education online. Now, you need to understand there's a significant difference between online training and education versus webinars. One would consider webinars online as well. In our context specifically, online means that you are invited into a learning management system as a registrant, where you have access to a whole host of elements that make up each of the core competency courses that we have in our program offering, and I will spell those out in some detail for you in just a moment. We have an enormous amount of experience, both in the corporate world as well as in the training and education arena. I can only tell you that we have a rich reservoir of experts that have joined us who come out of the corporate world. I myself, as the founder of CXU, have spent over 35 years of my life in the higher education and training business. I've done corporate executive development work across the entire globe with many of our Fortune 500 companies as well. We do come with what I call experience from the firing line. We understand the hallways that those of you who work in the world of business fully can understand and appreciate. And of course, because of our experience not only in higher education and the corporate world, we also have deep experience in the online space. I will say to all of you, and this might sound like a personal tout here, I can say to you that I was among the first in the world as a professional that went into the online space before anyone ever knew what online education was about. I launched my first online course in 1995, and you can, based on your own experience, attest to the fact about whether or not that timing was really early in the business of online training and education. We understand the space quite well. And of course, as many of you know, as professionals, you have this phenomenal balancing act to perform. You want to have the convenience of getting the kind of knowledge and information that's available to you at your fingertips, and really having the online option allows you that convenience. You can tap into our program using any device that you want from anywhere in the world. The only condition that you really need to comply with in order to have access to our curriculum and our courses is the internet. And if you have internet connectivity, it doesn't matter where you are, you can certainly join us and get the kind of knowledge development that you're seeking. Just take a view of our faculty members, the experts that have aligned themselves with CXU. These are all highly respected professionals, and I suspect many of you that are attending today would probably recognize most, if not all of them, and I will share some of those briefly. I will share some of those very briefly in just a moment. We also have a board, and if you visit our website and check us out and see the composition of the board, you will see that we have some very seasoned executives that are providing the kind of strategic guidance that is so important for an entity like ours. And like any customer experience professional, and as an organization that's committed itself to building a strong and positive experience for those that journey with us, we can assure you that you will get personal attention once us in this journey, and we will be very responsive to you. So we provide all the kind of support that you would need. There are no mysteries associated with your involvement in our program. This might sound strange. We are actually self-disruptive. And let me tell you what we mean by that. First of all, we're always scanning the environment to make sure that we have our pulse on the latest developments in the field of CX. And by self-disruptive, we mean that we will continuously examine, assess what we are doing, invite our participants in our program to provide us with feedback, take all those very seriously, and make appropriate changes so that we're always on the leading edge. So that's why you should join. What would you get if you decided to join CX University and enroll in its programs, whether they be the formal curriculum covering the 6 competencies, or trying out our test samples, or inviting us to come to your site for a live workshops series? Well, first and foremost, we obviously have, as we said, a curriculum that's been fully approved, and so the benefit that you would derive from being with us would be to be well prepared to take the certification exam, if and when you decide to do that. Clearly, and perhaps more importantly, for many of you that are already practitioners in this business, it clearly adds to your knowledge base, and so you will certainly develop a deeper and fuller understanding of the customer experience discipline. recognize, of course, that this is relatively new for many of us. This was never formally part of any kind of educational program coming out of colleges and universities that all of you have attended. This has sort of evolved over the years, and therefore its need has become fairly obvious because of this great gap that we've experienced in the higher education industry. Our goal is always to be able to prepare you so that you feel much more confident walking out with the tools and knowledge that you would get from taking our courses. And that, of course, we hope would clearly offer you opportunities to advance your career. As many of you know, this is an area that is fertile. In fact, one of my colleagues recently said that for the first time she actually saw a job posting that expressed a preference for customer experience knowledge and customer experience. So that should itself be an indicator to you that there's a lot going on in our field. And obviously, if you are well developed in terms of the knowledge that's required to be a successful practitioner in this arena, and to do so early gives you the advantage of being able to command a position in the corporate world where there's a great need being expressed for the kinds of professionals that they're seeking in the customer experience domain. It gives you what we hope will be the capacity to innovate. Our goal is not just to feed you with information and knowledge. Our goal is also to inspire you to be able to step outside the boundaries of your comfort zone and begin to take the risks that are associated with innovation. We hope to be able to give you the confidence to be able to confidently go out and explore innovative ideas. And if I harken back to the group of experts that have aligned themselves with CXU, let me say to you that they are available for guidance, for coaching, for mentoring, for consulting. We have a rich group of people, and as I said earlier, if you come to our website and check out their bios, you'll recognize many, if not all of them, as recognized thought leaders in this space. We have made available, and this was a direct response to some of the folks that journeyed with us early on this year in taking our courses, by saying that they would like to continue to collaborate. So we've actually developed a virtual community space in our learning management system that would invite you to continue to engage in exploration of ideas with your colleagues across industry boundaries. We're going to make available to you this rich space where you can feel comfortable coming to and exploring ideas and sharing thoughts with colleagues, inviting counsel and guidance from some of your colleagues in industries that you may or may not be familiar with. So let me get into, pardon me for a second, I think I might have, no, I think I'm okay. Let me get into the program itself. So among the offerings that are available from CXU, the most important and central offering, of course, is the program that prepares you not only for certification, but what we hope would be for being a well-developed and knowledgeable person in the customer experience discipline. So we have 6 courses, as you can see on the right-hand side of my screen. These are the core courses that have been identified as relevant for CCXP certification by the Customer Experience Professionals Association. We have, as we said, developed a curriculum around these 6 courses. So our core program offering is around these 6 courses that address each of these 6 competencies. When you enter any of these courses, these are the kinds of elements that you would encounter. You would see text narratives. You would see a set of readings that would be relevant to the text narratives, to the points that we want to convey. And these are drawn from across the globe, from thought leaders, from organizations that have done research. So we bring in what we call relevant content that supports all of the elements that make up the competencies in our 6-course program. We have supporting visuals through videos that help reinforce the points that we wish to make. We offer quick tips. We call it our practical playbook, We'll give you a set of tips that say, here are the tips that you need to be aware of and have at your fingertips so that you can apply them immediately. But we also go beyond that. We also challenge you to begin to explore at a much deeper level the kinds of issues that you might encounter, the kinds of challenges that you might encounter, the kind of playback that you might encounter internally in your organizations. The idea here is to force you to begin to think beyond what you are going to get in our program. And we hope that by engaging in reflective thought, you yourself would begin to explore new avenues of excitement in this whole discipline. I've often been asked, and some of my colleagues have been asked, well, what kind of commitment do we need to make once we enroll in the program? If you did everything from soup to nuts in each of our 6 courses that you would sign up for, you can plan on committing 15 hours per course. 15 hours means that that's the number of hours you'd need to dedicate in order to be able to cover everything that's available to you in each of these courses. So we're talking about a total investment of 90 hours of your time, plus or minus a few here and there, depending on how quickly you read and what kind of detours you can avoid when you are engaged with our curriculum. Each of our courses, if you were to invest in enrolling in just a single course, that course will be available to you for a period of 2 months. That's the period that we would give you to complete it. If you purchase the entire bundle, which is primarily the offer we're making at this open house, the bundle would consist of the 6 courses that you need to prepare for certification, which we also believe you would need to be well versed in the discipline. And if you were to journey with us by enrolling in the 6 course bundle, you will have access to it for a period of 6 months. And as I said, because it's online, it's awfully convenient, allowing you to really engage in learning from anywhere and at any time. We've included, as part of our program offering, 2 sample tests for each of the 6 competencies. So in addition to getting what I've described in each of the 6 courses, at the end of each course you will have 2 sample tests that will give you an opportunity to assess your knowledge and understanding of the content. And our hope is that by the time you get through the 6 courses and have navigated through a total of 12 sample tests, 2 in each of the 6 competencies, you will certainly be well prepared to go in confidently and sit for the CCXP certification exam. The third offering that we have is, of course, the live workshops, and we have a bias at CXU, and this bias is actually a common thread even amongst our colleagues who we've identified as our faculty group. We have an action learning orientation, and that comes from the fact that we've done it. We've been in the trenches. We know what the hallways of the corporate world feel like, smell, touched it. We've effectively been in the firing line, and so we understand that in order to make our education and training relevant, it has to surface from this very deep set of experiences that we bring into the training and education arena. And so our bias is always towards action learning, which means you will never be a passive recipient in our workshops. You will be an engaged participant. For example, we would engage you in journey mapping exercises. We would engage you in understanding what it means to develop an empathy map. We will engage you in being able to galvanize people around common threads. We call them affinity clusters. We would provide case examples. We would bring in video reinforcement messages. The dynamics in our workshops are highly interactive. We'll have self-assessment tools at one point or the other during our workshops, and we will of course examine collectively together, examine the level of maturity that you experience in CX practices in your organizations. You will effectively walk away with very applied tools by the time you are done with us in a workshop. And our workshops tend to be custom designed. It's not off-the-shelf stuff. And the reason it's custom designed, and whenever I use the word custom, people often think, my goodness, that must be awfully expensive. No, by custom designed, what it means is that we personalize it to the organization. We understand the state of CX practice in your organization. If you, for instance, hired a vendor to provide feedback metrics for you, we incorporate those. What we attempt to do is bring in as much of your existing practices into the workshops so that we make it as relevant as possible for the participants that attend it. And of course, in most cases, with exceptions, we would have more than one leader leading the workshop. Our preference is that there be at least 2 of our experts that will deliver these workshops. We find that to be very useful because we recognize that collectively we're able to do much more. And even though our faculty members that I referenced earlier and I myself think of, all of us think of ourselves as experts and we can do workshops on our own, I have found that it's always terrific to have a colleague with you so that we can play off each other and ensure that we don't miss anything as we plan and deliver what we believe would be dynamic, vibrant learning workshops for those that partner with us. So I've talked about our curriculum, the 6 core courses. I've briefly covered live workshop options as a second offering. And the third offering are practice tests. We have developed a vast pool of multiple choice questions. This pool continues to be reviewed on an ongoing basis. We have developed these practice tests, and as I've said earlier, if you signed up for the bundled set of courses or individual courses, you will always get 2 practice tests as part of it, but you don't necessarily have to be signed up in order to take advantage of our practice tests. In effect, you can independently decide that you may be knowledgeable enough, but you just want to sort of affirm your knowledge. You can come directly to our website and sign up for taking 12 practice tests, 2 in each of those competency areas, for a modest investment of $49. So if you choose to take the path of going directly to CCXP certification and want to prepare for it by testing your knowledge, you can come in and simply sign up for 12 practice tests, 2 in each competency, for, as I said, an investment of only $49. So I've more than once referenced our faculty members, and let me share just one brief story with you. We have a few people that have joined us who've journeyed with us through our core curriculum, and I said to you that we tend to be self-disruptive, and what that means is we will certainly explore the horizon that we're scanning. We will identify opportunities, we will look for resources, and we will certainly embrace and partner with the level of competencies that we've identified. I want to invite one of our faculty members, our newest faculty members, who's actually journeyed with us through our program, by way of saying to you how important we think this whole process is for us. Where we identify competency and experience, we want to leverage that capability and make it available to the larger community of CX aspirants, practitioners. So let me just invite one of my colleagues, Jeff Hersey, who's with us here, to take 15 seconds, perhaps 20 seconds, to share a thought or 2 with you about his experience with us. Jeff, did you get that message from me? I know you're on mute.
Yes, I'm here, Mohamed. Thank you. Yes, I can't state strongly enough how important the CXU University was for me. I've been a contact center consulting systems engineer for a very long time, and I knew I needed to take a more structured approach to achieving my CCXP certification, Certified Customer Experience Professional certification. And although CXPA provides a lot of resources, and you could certainly study on your own, CXU University provided that structured approach that I needed, and certainly gave me all the information I needed to pass the exam, as well as information I could immediately put to use on my job. So job well done to CXU University, and I'm proud to be a member of the faculty.
Thank you very much for that, Jeff. And I think we have one more person with us that I can invite for a few seconds. Janet Biedrin, if you can hear me and unmute yourself, and if you can share a thought or two in about 15 seconds, we'd appreciate that very much.
Hi, this is Janet Biedrin. I am a healthcare executive, and when I entered into the world of customer experience, I was truly a novice. In healthcare, we talk about patient experience, patient satisfaction, physician satisfaction, employee satisfaction, but we never really got into what was the experience of our patients. And so I was able to really take what I've learned here and translate it into healthcare, and I found it very, very valuable.
Thank you for that, Janet. And as I indicated, you're now looking at a visual collage of our faculty members. Some of them are actually here, but I'm not going to call upon them because I didn't alert them to that possibility. So let me move on and continue our journey. This slide you're looking at now represents the mix of attendees or registrants that we've had in our program. We've had folks, CX folks from around the globe, as you can see. And in the last few months, we've also extended our hand of friendship to colleagues who are very much involved in the practice of customer experience, of the customer experience discipline. And so I'm listing now 3 partners that we've developed a relationship with. We have a customer experience consulting organization in Amsterdam called Early Bridge. We have a customer experience consulting firm in Lagos, Nigeria. And then we have the Customer Relationship Academy of Asia out of New Delhi, India. These are folks that have joined us in partnership, and together we are promoting the discipline of CX globally. And we're very excited about this. We're going to continue to develop our relationships across the board and extend our hand of friendship, because we think that the phenomena of customer experience clearly is not bounded by geography. It is global, and we at CX University totally wish to embrace the global character that now is part of the DNA of customer experience practices. There is one more member of our journey through the CX curriculum with us, and that is Sandra, who is the Vice President of Customer Experience at a regional bank in Maine. And so if I can, let me invite Sandra to take about 15 seconds to share her experience with us during the program. Sandra, don't forget to unmute yourself. It appears that we're having a bit of an audio glitch here with Sandra, and I'm not sure I understand it. So let me just say that if Sandra were to become available through audio, we will certainly have her join us. This is just a sample of some of the clients we've had globally as well as here in the United States. Our most recent client was Reliant, an NRG company, a utility that many of you may be aware of. I only say that because it's the most recent, but all the others were clients that participated in our program over the last several months. And we certainly hope that we would be able to embrace many more partners in the corporate world and be able to deliver what we believe would be a robust customer experience training and development program for CX practitioners within the corporate world. We did, and I should have perhaps shared this at the outset, when we decided to launch CXU, we of course did so on the basis of some intelligence from the market, and clearly there were people that told us that this is a needed area of development for many, and our timing was apparently quite appropriately placed within 2016 and going forward. So the bottom line is, okay, you have gotten an exposure to our offerings. Pardon me, I got a message from Sandra. Sandra, if you've unmuted yourself, you have 15-20 seconds to share a thought or two with us. Thank you.
Hi, Mohamed. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Sandra. Thank you so much.
Okay. So sorry. All right. The two things I just wanted to mention that I highly valued throughout the curriculum in the 6 courses is really, first and foremost, was the fact that all of the material that we were immersed in was extremely holistic. And I really appreciated that it was beyond just measurement, but it also it included things like cultural development and engagement of executives, and I mean just everything that you can imagine. And the second thing is that I really enjoyed the engagement with the other participants. As Mohamed already mentioned, I come from financial industry, and I loved being able to look at thoughts and ideas from a different perspective, especially outside of the financial, organization. And I am excited to say that it felt right at the end of our last course, which was only just a couple of weeks ago, where I was in my own professional experience and career, along with the knowledge that I'd gained from self-study, and now being fully immersed from this, as Jeff said, a much more structured approach. I also sat for the CXU exam, and I'm pleased to say that I'm also a certified CX professional, and I really believe that I was made to be much more confident and prepared for sitting for that exam as a result of CXU. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity for that, Mohamed.
Well, thank you, Sandra. Appreciate that very much, and congratulations on the certification. That's wonderful news.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. So let's get to what does it mean to be involved with CXU, and what is our special open house offering. Here it is, folks. We have decided to make an offering that we believe is compelling. So if you enrolled in a single course and wanted to try us out, as some of our registrants have done, and after trying out one, they decided that the journey was well worth the investment of both money and time, you can certainly try one course and get a discount of 25%. If you choose to, of course, pursue the entire bundle, we're offering a compelling value of 50% off our list price, our list investment. And so if you're interested in joining us for the bundle package, it's only going to cost you an average of $157 and some change per course. These are offerings for individual practitioners. If any of you are thinking about the corporate packages, here are the corporate packages. We have identified the corporate packages in terms of 3 buckets, from 5 to 14 users through 49 users, and in each case you're going to receive 25% off, which makes the per course value proposition, I think, quite compelling. This open house special is available to you until October 31st. We will certainly follow up immediately after this event to see what your level of interest is and how we might be able to engage you for further questions that you might have and would seek answers to. We are going to, on October 6th, make special offers, no different than what you're getting here. These will be additional offers that you will, of course, be entitled to. And so as part of our celebration and recognition of CX Day on October 6th, we're going to make an additional offer. It's going to be in addition to what you are being offered right now for your attendance at this open house. Let me share a couple of other thoughts with you that are very important. Remember, I said to you that we are self-disruptive. I want to end with a few observations by sharing with you our commitment to a development roadmap. We are right now in the midst of building e-learning modules. These are short 10 to 30 minute, totally dynamic, self-contained training modules that can be widely distributed within your organizations or picked up individually. It's forthcoming. We're right now in the middle of our first e-learning module development, and hopefully we will make our e-modules available to you within the next couple of months. We are in conversations right now about actually taking CX content and creating learning games so that it becomes fun. I have met young people these days who are very much involved in Pokemon Go, and some of you might be like me. I'm a child sometimes, and I have downloaded Pokemon Go. It's just a very exciting, engaged learning process, and it's a lot of fun. So we want to create some fun at the same time as we want you to pursue serious learning. We are in the process of developing a complete patient experience program. The principles of customer experience apply even in the healthcare industry, but it has nuances and contextual properties that are different. So we are building an entire curriculum on patient experience, and we already have developed our first course, which we are going to make available in October. I am similarly in conversation with experts in a whole new development above the customer experience arena or complementing the customer experience arena called customer value. How do you create customer value? This particular line of inquiry and knowledge development has certain specific and unique properties, and we're in conversation with experts in this area to actually design a program for us so that we can make that available as well. I am proud to say that we are going to launch our CXU TV show, the first talk show on customer experience, just outside of this geography here in Philadelphia, and our first guest will be in October. And once we have completed the first guest recording, you will be able to see it on our YouTube channel, and it will also be available on our website. We are also exploring creating short training modules using video, the video channel. We are actually in conversation with our video resource people to talk about how we can build some video training programs. So these are items just so that you're aware of the kind of development plan that we have before us. And again, this is all by way of saying that CX University will never sit still. CX University will not sit on its laurels. CX University will continuously engage the CX professionals out there and invite their input to influence what we end up developing and delivering to the larger community of CX professionals out there in the world. And with that, I end my formal walkthrough and invite any questions that you might have. So if there are any questions, and if you've typed it into the chat box, we'd certainly be happy to do that. One of my colleagues, a partner in India, has just requested to have a few seconds, so let me ask my colleague and partner in India, Amit, to say a few words. Go ahead, Amit.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. This is Amit from CRM Academy of Asia, India. Because the time is very short, so the day we connected, me and Mohammed, I told him one thing, that India is such a big market, and this CX world is totally unorganized right now here in India. And the day we connected, we started the promotion of these programs here. We are getting tremendous response from the participants, and they are asking every day that what is actually how, because there is a technology gap lies here in India and United States. So it is just taking a bit time to making them understand that what is actually the online certification is. And today Mohammed has probably cleared everything, and I hope so that this is the this part of the world is also going to join the CX revolution which you have started, and I must congratulate you, Mohammed. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amit. And so if anyone has any questions, we'll certainly respond to them now. Type those questions into your chat box, and we will take one at a time. If there are no questions, and I will allow about 30 seconds or 45 seconds to pass, if there are no questions, then we will certainly bring closure to this presentation with a grand thank you for each of you for participating and investing your lunchtime with us if it's lunchtime for you, or your sleep time with us if you are indeed in India approaching the midnight hour. I have a question here that when one takes the bundle option, do they take and pass each course at a time? The answer is yes. You take each course at your own pace, at your convenience, and you will get the 2 test samples with that course at the end of the course, and you can test your knowledge based on the review of the content for that course. And by the way, you can go back over and over with your sample tests so that you can make sure that you get 100% right eventually. But the answer is yes. You will get to complete the course at your convenience, each course, and you will get 2 tests that come with each of those courses. I have some questions, some additional questions that have come up. The question is, why is it available only for a short period of time? I think that's a great question. I don't know that there's a definitive answer to that. This was an internal discussion we had as a team based on our own understanding of the learning process, and we felt that if we defined the time boundaries for our registrants, they would then recognize the planning that they need to do to complete it within that time frame. We certainly also recognize that as professionals you have a tremendous balancing act to perform, and if a 1-month time period for a single course is inadequate for you because of travel and other professional obligations, we are very responsive to that need and we will certainly extend the time. But we have felt that it would be in everyone's best interest to define beginning and end boundaries, but we are certainly flexible. So if there should be a detour in your personal life that necessitates a longer or an extension of the period, we'd certainly extend that to you. That would not be an issue for us. The other question that's associated with that, is this a rental versus a purchase? I don't know. I don't know that I fully understand that. I guess one can think of it as a rental. One can also think of it as a purchase. It depends on how you define that. I'm not sure that I fully understand the distinction. The point, though, is that you will get access to this for a defined time period and not forever. So it's, I guess one can say, a consumable purchase after a certain time period. You no longer have access to it. You can think of it as a rental. Yes, you're renting this content and the exercises and the relevant knowledge for a certain time period. It depends on how you define rental versus purchase. I hope that answers your question, whoever it is that asked that. I'm just scrolling through my chat box and I don't see any other questions that have surfaced. Oh, wait a minute, I have a question here. When one takes the bundle option, do they take and pass each course at a time? Yeah, well, you have the latitude to do what you want. We make it all available to you. It would be wise to go through the content of a course and then at the end, take the sample tests to check out whether or not you've fully embraced the content, and you can go back and review it. So I would say yes. At the end of each course, take the sample tests. We hope you pass them with flying colors each time you attempt it. And as I said, you can always go back if you should have any difficulties with specific sets of questions.
Mohamed, this is Joe. Could you please answer the question, is there any project report or industry immersion required?
The answer is no. This is open to anyone and everyone that has an interest in developing competency in the customer experience space.
And also, could you quickly go over the cost for each of the offerings again?
Thank you, Joe. I just saw that, and here is the slide that indicates the offer that we're making. So if you purchased a single course, our typical list price is $395. If you buy a single course, we're discounting it by 25% with the final price or investment of $296.25. If you bought the bundle, you're getting a much better value by purchasing all 6 courses with a 50% discount. And if you are going to purchase this for your corporate groups, with the number of users that are identified in each of those team, departmental, and organizational buckets, you can do the math. It's pretty straightforward, and it offers a fairly compelling value. Any other questions that we can react to? All right, I see that there are no further questions. We are certainly approaching the hour, and I would like to again extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend our open house. We hope you found it useful. We will invite you to provide us with feedback on your experience with us today so that we can learn from it. As I said, we continuously evolve and improve, and we would certainly welcome your input. But you will certainly hear from us again very shortly, and we thank you for being with us today.